And a great big hey howdy hey to all you wonderful people out there in internet land. Welcome to Ani-MANIC with Comic Auzi and featuring a longtime no-here guest on this show, my brother Lemon. How you doing, Lemon?
I am doing well.
You are doing well. Okay, awesome sauce. Alrighty. We're gonna get it down and party tonight. Get it down and party tonight. So, I've got a few topics of discussion that we'll be talking about. The main one is that The Sea Beast is a beautiful film. Another one is that Craig Mccracken is coming back to Cartoon Network. And that Genndy Tartakovsky's Popeye film has been leaked. We'll talk more about that when in the interim. But first, I'd love to hear Min get a topic off his mind, as he and I, and Mary as well, have briefly discussed ideas of what we could do to make Miraculous Ladybug a show we actually would like. So we've changed a lot of things surrounding the Miraculous jewelry. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop on over to the Aggie, because it looks like Min is drawing Marinette. Was this correct? You're drawing Marinette here? Min? Min, are you there? Min! Oh god, he's dead. Lemon! Lemon! Min! Now he's dead!
I'm not trying to...
Oh shit. Lemon? Lemon, you're dead. Lemon. Lemon, you're dead, Lemon. Hello, Bella. Lemon, you're dead!
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Hey,
Hold on.
You're cutting in and out.
Hold on. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Am I
better than before.
back? Am I back?
You're backish, yes.
Okay. Okay. The character I'm drawing is not Marinette. However, it is Rosemary from High Guardian Spice, my design for her.
Ah.
I will draw Marinette for you, though, now, as we have a lot else to cover. But yes, we have been working on reworks for the Miraculous power set, and how they interact with the characters, so I'm very interested in discussing this. So, of course, we'll cover your topics first.
No, I think we should start with this.
If you can hear me.
We can hear you. I think we should discuss this first because it'll be nice, short and quick. I think because we've got like a few plot points. A few plot points in question are how Gabriel will bring despair to the heroes to weaken them, because we've come up with an idea that the heroes need to follow a certain set of virtues to increase the potency of their power. And like how they're on a timer in the show, that timer increases in length if they are stronger, and they're stronger when they follow their virtues. So
yeah, and
that kind of
not to mention there's also silly, goofy, wacky chase scenes to collect the remaining Miraculous, so that each one can build up their Miraculous box first.
We've also narrowed things down to like how many 20 Miraculous? We narrowed it down to like 20
I
Miraculous?
believe 20. Hold on, let me pull out my... Let me just grab my sketchbook real quick.
We split it up into 4 groups of 5. 4 different parts of the world. So yeah, it's 20.
Hold on, I want to grab my sketchbook because I have everything written down there. Hold on.
If you could send a screen cap of it as well, I could also share that on screen so we could all...
Okay, hold on just a moment.
I'm going to grab a drink real quick. In the back.
So what we're going to see is we've charted everything into four important continents.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say.
I
don't think it's fair to say important continents. We left out Australia and South America. And South America's a big one.
Yeah, we just couldn't think of a good enough set of Miraculous for them.
Or that we just stopped at 20 and then we were like, oh, oops.
Yeah.
Maybe we figured like one Miraculous got lost in the Amazon or something and they had to go find it.
So we have the Africa box, the Europe box, the North America box, and the Asia box.
Yes. 36, that's an insane number. That is maddening. That is ridiculous. Good
yeah,
Lord.
the fact the main show has time travel miraculous at all completely boggles me. Even the one with second chance, I can accept it a little better, but we straight up made a version where it's not included.
Yeah, I think we thought time travel muddied things up too much. And besides, the villain already used time travel, so it's not like the show is hurting for playing with time travel. Actually, actually, just realized something.
I got a photograph of the page, but let me just Discord it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came up with a new power set and a virtue each miraculous. What?
What? Oh, is this something somebody's saying
What?
to you outside of Discord?
No.
What? Then what's happening?
Okay, here, I've Discorded it to you.
Ah, finally, here
There. So, even if the audience doesn't see it. Yeah, Gabriel looks ridiculous, so if he's a fashion designer, we should definitely pull more from haute couture. Because, holy shit, his stuff looks like it's trying to be superheroes plus haute couture, and it's not working.
Okay, so I rotated it. Gonna crop it a little bit, and then I'll, get some white balance on this bitch.
You're trying to actually clean up the photo.
Well, I got Photoshop open anyway, so I was like, why not? And I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
ahead
this
and pop
drawing's
that
of Rosemary
up here.
from High Guardian Spice.
I don't know how well people can read that, so I'm just gonna hit. Not full
We're
screen.
just
full
gonna
screen mode on
leave this in
Can
the
I-
corner.
Can I full screen this? Can I full screen? View? Full screen?
Okay, that looks good.
I mean, I guess.
Young Alex finally gets her rabbit and dog Miraculous for the first time in the series. As someone who's never seen Miraculous, I'm going to assume your description that people ship this Gabriel guy Edna Mode. God, no! First of all, Edna Mode, I'm pretty sure, is an ace icon, and even if she's not, she's too good for someone like Gabriel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is our entire list. You guys can feel free to, like, screen cap it. The handwriting isn't horrible, but,
Also not ideal, but I don't care enough to fix it.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go over them. The top of our list are actually the Zodiac Signs, which was something we thought of because with Master Wu, and a lot of Marinette's mother. There's a lot of Chinese connection in the show, in the heritage. So we felt like it was appropriate to borrow that. So we have the rat, which multiplies. And the virtue that the multiplication that they have to follow is teamwork. Because if you got a million voices, even if they're all your own voice, just yakking at you, you can't get anywhere if you don't know how to work together. At all. And then there's the ox, whose superpower is strength. And the virtue that the ox needs to follow is vulnerability. A lot of these tie into ways that they both work with.
Contrasts.
They work with, but also contrast. Like what seems like kind of the opposite, but really it's not. The next is a snow tiger, who has kind of Elsa's powers, and the virtue for the snow tiger is peace. A sense of calm and tranquility and that sort of thing.
See, let's assume that Julika is still going to be the wielder. She, while not having the best sense of confidence, does have a sense of stability that can be depended on. So she'd be probably a prolific miraculous user, more so than Ladybug.
I mean,
Ladybug, while the most technically powerful miraculous user, will probably be the weakest holder next to Hawkmoth.
I mean, I'm thinking
at first.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like that's the idea. Is like every miraculous user, when they get their miraculous, they have to learn this virtue on their first episode at least. You know.
Some of them are already good at it, and
except
will
for the
be teaching Ladybug.
Except for Rose, because Rose is a pure ball of sunshine. There's no way she wouldn't.
I'm just gonna say that like some of them are already so proficient in their virtue that they would be teaching Ladybug lessons.
That is an idea. The rabbit can teleport up to around five or seven times, depending on how strong
we played with the rabbit burrow idea.
Rabbit holes and all that.
Yeah.
And to teleport, yeah, and like be reckless about it would be folly. So the rabbit's virtue is mindfulness.
It's about look before you leap.
Boing boing. Then the dragon has the powers of the 5 elements: wood.
The Chinese elements of water, earth, fire, wood, metal.
Yeah. And their virtue is balance. You cannot simply use one element over the other. You need to have a balance of them.
Probably something Kagami struggles with, as she
yeah.
definitely wants to lean into fire, because dragon.
But also, she's very hot-headed. If you haven't noticed.
She's also very cynical and cold, so she wants to lean on elements that like define her personality already.
So fire and metal, basically.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she needs to learn how to.
So then there's Snake, whose power is charm and hypnosis. But in order to do such deceptively, the snake must practice the virtue of honesty.
It's less deceptive and more,
not manipulating.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlike Hawkmoth, who does nothing but manipulate. Then there's
Hawkmoth is like the weakest miraculous user, but his miraculous is one of the more powerful ones, hence him being able to stop everyone.
I think part of Hawkmoth's deal is that the further he falls into blind rage, the weaker he gets. Like, he starts off pretty strong, sending off real juggernauts after Ladybug and Cat Noir, but after a while it's like, this is getting easy, you know? Because he's getting mad.
Because anger makes you stupid, especially if it's misdirected.
How does Small Breakdown have to step out? What did I miss? We're talking about our miraculous AU, basically.
It's kind of like an idea for a reboot that's probably never going to exist, but hey, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Just because someone's purple doesn't make them Thanos. Let's see. The horse, we took teleportation. Teleportation belonged to the horse, but we decided to take that and go for a Pony Express vibe. So the horse is super speed. And like any good horse, the horse needs to be dependable. Reliability is their virtue, which can be dependability, reliability, both mean the same thing, really.
Another miraculous user that will probably be good, as long as he doesn't get distracted, because I imagine Max in our version will probably have a bit of ADHD and a hyper focus on video games and strategy.
And that might be his issue, that he gets too caught up in the numbers game of, like, trying to calculate how to do, like, you know, in that cartoonish way that nerds are, where they're always, like, using math to explain things. Anyway, moving on.
So, goat. The holder for this one doesn't make too much sense unless we change Nathaniel's whole personality, but screw it, we might just do that.
He could just be... I mean, he's a superhero fanboy. He could just get cocky.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway, the goat's thing is a destructive force that it kind of acts as a battering ram. In direct opposition to, like, Cat Noir just being able to disintegrate things.
Basically, Cat Noir can disintegrate structures up to the size of the Eiffel Tower.
But the goat basically goes Fus Roda.
Which basically just breaks a huge hole in anything significantly large.
And that hard-headed power needs the virtue of patience.
Yeah.
The monkey is a silly character who makes people laugh. Laughing is his superpower. He makes people just go into uncontrollable fits of laughter. That's his dealio.
Like the D&D spell Hideous Laughter.
He's basically a silly goose who can make anyone giggle at anything with his superpower. But in order to be such a jokester, you can't always be just like, it's a prank, you know, don't take it seriously. You need to be sincere. The virtue for the monkey is sincerity. And then up next is the Rooster, who can screech really loudly, kind of like Danny Phantom's ghost whale, and he can also inspire his teammates like a bard.
Kind of imagine if your party in the Miraculous holders is all running out of energy, the Rooster could potentially recharge just a little bit of it.
Yeah, that'd be
it
fun.
awakens your inner fire.
Yeah. And the Rooster's virtue is courage. You need to be willing to get out there into the line, into a potential line of fire. You need to be able to stand your ground and not run away with your tail between your legs. You gotta be fierce. You gotta be courageous. Anyway. So,
which is definitely something the holder Mark would need to work on, even in our current canon, so it works.
Which one is Mark again? Is that Nathaniel's boyfriend?
Mark is Nathaniel's boyfriend or something.
Yeah, okay. Up next is the dog, whose superpower is fetch, as it is in the show, if you want to look that up. And his virtue is loyalty. Obvious. I think we can move on from there.
It's gonna be Sabrina, and she's going to be way more important to the plot, guys, because
oh yeah, no shit. Yeah, we have
so Sabrina needs to also be important to the plot.
We have an arc for Chloe, which we'll discuss as soon as we go over all the powers.
Yeah.
The pig. Her powers are basically taken from the show. Jubilation and deepest desire. Basically what she does in the show. And
she doesn't grant you your deepest desire, she just shows it to you.
But yeah, exactly.
In a more productive way than they did in the episode Guilt Trip, because that was annoying.
Okay. But her virtues are virtues that Rose lives and breathes. Optimism and hope.
Yeah, if this doesn't make any sense, this would only make sense to someone who's been rigorously watching Miraculous, so we're very sorry to anybody who's completely lost at this point.
I'll put some time codes in the description so you guys can skip past this part in the future.
Yeah.
Anyway, up next is the Butterfly. I want to skip that one. I want to come to that one last.
Okay.
Okay. The Peacock. Illusion monsters and eyes everywhere. Basically the same powers that it has in the show, once again.
But specifically, Optigami was the eyes everywhere Sensi monster, whereas I'm following the Peacock's visual motif of having eyes on its tail.
Which is pretty cool.
Eyes everywhere.
Which is really nice. And the illusion monsters can't actually destroy anything. They're physical, but they can't.
You can
actually
shake hands
destroy
with one, but if you punch it, it'll just explode.
Yeah. Is the stability to the point where they'd reform and you'd have to de-evilize the thing inside them still?
I mean, possibly.
Like they dissipate into a cloud of smoke and then they reform and they
somewhere
kick you,
else,
and they
I guess.
kick you. They kick you.
Yeah,
20 blocks.
I suppose it's kind of like shadow clones, kind of.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Speaking of shadow clones, we'll get to that.
But the
virtue is devotion, as peacocks show off to express their devotion to their potential mates.
Right. They put on a show, but also because of Natalie's devotion, and there's going to be an arc where she takes the Peacock Miraculous and goes to join the good guys, and so she loses her virtue of devotion and has to re-find it with this new team.
With this group of kids who's been hanging out in the sewers for some fuck-all reason.
It's really...
Which is a thing we've decided happens.
I mean, the Ninja Turtles stay in the sewer all the time. There's no reason you couldn't set up... I mean, they said in the sewers offset from the New York subway. France has a subway. They could do the same damn thing. Up next is the turtle, who has the same power in the show, and his virtue in relation to that is selflessness. Putting yourself on the line for other people. You know, because you shield them from the... Anyway. The bee! The bee Miraculous has the power of sting. We're not calling it venom, because that's kind of stupid. Sting.
I mean, bee stings do technically have venom, but we just thought the name was weird.
Yeah. Sting should just be the name of the power, and it does the same thing as in the show. It stings. and much like a bee's role, working with others in the hive, you have to have trust. Trust is the virtue for the bee.
I also want to add that a potential one for the bee would also technically be leadership. Even though the bee holder would not be the leader of the team, they would have to know how to manage things well. Which is something our user that we've chosen is particularly proficient in, but the other virtue of trust is something they have to work on. But we'll get to that.
I think a bee being a strategist at least, because you could definitely see bees as a bit of a militia.
Yeah. But back to the. Did we skip the fox? Or did I forget to write that down?
Oh shit! Did you not write the fox? We'll come back to the fox. Chameleon invisibility is its superpower. This is kind of a new one, like we haven't seen in the show or anything like that, but we have had the villain called Chameleon that was able to turn invisible.
Damn, I completely forgot to write down the fox, but I have it on another page, and we didn't change it since then.
Exactly. And Chameleon's invisibility is offset by needing confidence. Like, you can't just hide away forever. You have to be bold, right? So in order to contrast that invisibility, you need to have confidence in order to use it well. Like, say the chameleon can only do, like, legit chameleon camouflage where it just matches the colors of its surroundings. But to actually turn fully invisible, you need to fully embody confidence. That's the kind of idea we're going with, like, for powering up. Let's go with the fox. Read me off the fox real quick.
The fox has the power of trickery and shadow clones. Specifically, the ability to create an illusory clone of themselves and to swap places with that clone should they need to show up somewhere or leave.
Right. But that would cut down the number of clones they'd be limited to, I think.
I suppose. And then their moral is clear judgment.
Clear judgment?
Or cleverness.
Yeah, I think it was cleverness.
But I added with it clear judgment because you need to...
I mean, I suppose so. Up next with the black
cat.
I think I'm trying to... that would be an interesting task there, Unknown. I think Rentren beat you to it.
It's just me. Hold on a moment.
So the black cat has the power of destruction as is in the show. Basically, as it is. And he also ends up being terribly unlucky, so in order to wield his power, he must embody the virtue of resilience, determination. He needs to be able to, Rentren wins the internet. But like, he needs to be able to have a good outlook and be able to take a punch and get back. He needs to be able to get knocked down, but then get up again. You're never gonna keep him down, kind of attitude, you know. That's what you get. Specify the rules before we play the game. And then Ladybug. Yes, hello, Ryder. I almost didn't notice. Hello. Thanks for pointing that out, Bella. Anyway, Ladybug, the power of creation as is in the show. But instead of pulling
out... there is a small difference in the power of creation.
Instead of being able to pull out one Lucky Charm, you're able to pull out any number.
She just needs to be in the right mindset to pull out almost what she wants, but she'll never be able to get exactly what she wants. At least not until she masters... At least not until she masters her virtues.
But she'll definitely be able to get what she needs, early on especially.
That's true.
What she has to embody in virtues are creativity, empathy, and kindness. Also, she is very lucky, yes.
That's what the ladybug itself represents. So I'm going to list off what the miraculous are of. The rat or mouse is the miraculous of multiplicity.
Wait. If we can stop for a second, because I skipped over the butterfly because I wanted to talk about this one last.
Okay, let's get to it. Butterfly invokes the warrior's fury.
Right, that's the power. It basically takes the it takes the fury, the passion, the fire from inside of a person and turns it into a superpower all its own. And in order to in order to use this power is righteous anger. Righteous anger being very important. The righteous part is that you have to be justly angry. You have to be angry at some sort of actual injustice. Gabriel is not. There was no great sin committed against him. His anger is not righteous, and so his power is weaker because of it. And also it's weaker because he manipulates the emotions, the sorrows and fears of people more so than using their passionate like fervor for getting into a fight.
He doesn't have a good point, or at least the universe or whatever created the Kwamis decides he doesn't have a very good point. It could just be his Kwami disagrees with him. Like, if he and his Kwami were on the same wavelength, his powers would probably work right. But since they're not, and since Nuru's like a good judge of character, that's just how it is.
I hope you do. I hope you're doing better now, writer. It sounds like that sucks. Chin up, man.
Yeah. I don't know the details, but I know he was in a bad way before, so
okay.
Prayers for writer.
Yep. F and chat for writer. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up the Butterfly last is because there's a lot that centers around it. So the Butterfly Miraculous is like obviously stolen, missing, and like when Ladybug and Cat Noir talk to Master Wu about it, it's like, so what happened? It's like, well, I kind of just lost it. And
he dropped a whole box of Miraculous while he was carrying it overseas or something.
And then it shattered.
And the Miraculous were scattered all over the fuck off.
Because they're kind of like Dragon Balls, they could just fly away.
Yeah.
Fly to different ends of the earth. But yeah, in the but like the consequence of Gabriel using this power is that the Ladybug and Cat Noir have to fight him. Over time, he goes through certain stages of grief, but when he gets to anger, his power weakens. And at that point, Marinette and Adrian as Ladybug and Cat Noir are seeing themselves needing to use their other teammates less often because these fights are getting easier. And
we may as well not bother to these other teenagers that have lives to live.
Yeah, but then Gabriel realizes, like, on some level what is happening, that they're either getting stronger or he's getting weaker, which he won't admit to. he thinks they must be getting stronger. I have to weaken them. So he goes to the ancient grimoire and finds out that if they don't...
Because he has that for some fuck all reason.
He had it in the show, so... However...
We just haven't figured out why he has it here.
Yeah, I guess not. But here's the dealio. Maybe he was a student of one of the Guardians of a Miracle Box or something.
That could be why he has such close access to one of the Europe Miraculous.
And he fucking stole both the Butterfly Miraculous and the Grimoire in one fell swoop.
And the
Peacock.
And he traveled to find the Peacock because that's from a separate box.
But no, wait, but yeah, maybe. But like, if he and his wife were using the... Whatever, we haven't hammered out those details. But the point is that, Gabriel needs therapy. No shit. But the dealio is that, like, he sees that the virtues make them stronger. So if he's able to hurt them in a way that makes them not embody those virtues, then he'll weaken them. So if he gets Ladybug in, like, such a stressed state, like, from fighting and being overtired, then she might end up being a little less kind to people because she's cranky because she's tired. And then like if Ladybug is getting even more snippy with Cat Noir because she's tired and cranky, then he might have a little less resilience, and then so on and so forth. He tries
and the bee doesn't trust them anymore.
Yes,
and
so
there you go.
The bee Miraculous, like, obviously Chloe and Hawkmoth probably had some sort of a thing, like, in terms of, like, oh, Chloe Bourgeois, you've given me more, like, more fuel for my Akuma than I can count on my all my appendages. So
Chloe.
obviously, like, he finds
out Chloe knows who Cat Noir is, because we've decided Adrian confides in her at some point.
So yeah, he finds Chloe, like, tries to manipulate her in a way, but, like, Chloe realizes that she can't trust this guy. No matter how much anyone in Paris trusts him to fulfill their heart's desires, he cannot do it. And then she truly...
Because she's seen him fail. A lot.
And she truly, in this moment, realized what trust is. Not only trust for your friends, but also distrust for, you know, a villain, of course. So she truly embodies her virtue in this moment, runs off to power up, and, like, kicks major fucking ass.
Chloe becomes one of the most powerful holders.
She rallies...
Purely because she embodies everything she needs to.
So what she does is she rallies the team together. Everyone starts embodying their virtues again, and they kick Hawkmoth to the curb. And then at the end of the episode, Chloe gives a tearful apology to Sabrina for how she's abused Sabrina's trust in her. And so that's going to be a beautiful moment there. Also, the idea of Chloe finding out Cat Noir's identity is more on Adrian's end. Min, would you like to explain that?
Yes, Adrian feels the need to confide in someone because, damn it, I'm going to burst if I don't say something.
Right.
So the only person he thinks to confide in is his only and closest friend, Chloe. Not because she's, like, a good person, but because she's all he's got. And she comes in...
And to tie back to that, about the bee, he can trust her. Ayo!
And she winds up... And as I've recharacterized Chloe as sort of a not kind of toxic positivity mama bear type character for Adrian, she comes in clutch for him, at least. And Ladybug is not happy to hear about any of this. Like, you told someone your identity is, like, you never did that for anyone? And she's like, well, one person, but I know I can trust them. And Chloe's kind of peeved because, like, damn it, I am proving myself trustworthy by not saying shit.
And here's
you
a
are
question.
not appreciating me. And Ladybug struggles with this a lot because she has to be kind and empathetic, but she does not want to be kind and empathetic to the Queen Bee.
Who knows Marinette's identity again?
Oh, Alia.
Alia, of course.
Even in this version, Alia.
She has to be the Genki to friggin' Marinette's Miles Morales initially, when she doesn't have a miraculous, just be that gal in the chair where she just like was like, hey, Marinette, texting you the location of an Akuma attack, and then Marinette's like, great, on my way.
And since Alia has clear judgment and is clever,
yeah,
she gets the Fox Miraculous. Ladybug gifts her with that, and Adrian, finding he can trust Chloe, gives her the Bee Miraculous.
Maybe
like
she
Ladybug's
struggles...
like, well, I trust your judgment, chat. I don't know who this is, but I trust you'll either tell me eventually, or we'll just go over this. It's fine. But when she finds out that it's Chloe, she's very peeved. She's like, how could you do this? And like, Cat Noir is like, what does it matter? It's not like you know her in civilian form.
I love what Miraculous just said here. See Lila get hit by a bus, like at the end of Mean Girls.
I mean, that's a fun thought, but not necessarily what we're gonna do.
No. But Lila will play a role. Lila's role is basically gonna be like, kind of like studying under Chloe, being a part of her entourage. But once Chloe stops being a mean girl, Lila takes over like the second Heather in Heather's. Where
like Sabrina Sabrina, Chloe, and Lila all have a friend group, but eventually, when Chloe becomes good and Sabrina reconciles with Chloe, they just stop hanging out with Lila, and Lila just like starts acting out and lying to get attention. So she's still like a compulsive liar, but like it's almost for different reasons, you want to say.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the stream back over to the Aggie, if that's still
okay.
Open.
Then you'll see my Marinette design I've been working on.
Oh, awesome! Wait. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Love the idea of a school uniform. Definitely mitigates the frustrations of like, why
or fashion design.
Yeah, like why are you designing these characters with one awesome like casual day outfit when you could really just have a whole closet, a wardrobe.
Especially with 3D animation, where it's easy to exploit and cheaper to have more people and more outfits.
I mean,
why are you wasting your time when you have the advantage of 3D animation?
I wouldn't say 3D animation makes more outfits easier. Well, actually,
but it does.
Okay, it makes more outfits easier, but it doesn't necessarily make it cheaper. Especially, like, CGI shows, like, cost a lot up front, but then over time you reuse assets and it becomes less expensive by comparison.
Point is, you can make more assets earlier on and just have more shit on standby, but they don't take advantage of this.
They don't. They didn't even go to prom. A prom episode is like prime real estate for high school dramas, no matter if they're superhero shows or not. Come on. But anyway, that's gonna be it for our discussions on Miraculous. Now I'm gonna go to our other discussion points. The Sea Beast is a beautiful film.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the film, but I've seen a trailer and visually gorgeous.
Spoiler alert, I will be talking a fair amount about the story. I'll try not to reveal too much since, well, Min has not seen it. But, I do want to discuss that I absolutely, everything that I love about this movie. So, yeah, the movie comes to be set in, like, Yelden times, where they're ferrying the seas. Like, the interesting thing they do here is that they make out, they make out the hunters. They make out the hunters in a pirate vibe, not just in their aesthetics and appearance, but also in the stories told about them in universe, like how they always say are, or how they're basically paid by royalty to do what they do. So there's a lot of like visual and story-based connections there that I absolutely love to death. It's great. It's awesome. Another thing that I really like is the film is gorgeous from the big things to the little things. When I say that, the big things are like scenery, textures, lighting, effects, all of it is just great. It's gorgeous. Everything you've seen in the trailer, it's just as good as it looks. But the smaller things as well, like the character designs, Sea Beast's character designs rival things like Spider-Verse for variety and distinctive character designs. Think of like your latest Disney movies where Anna and Elsa look identical. No, you can't tell me otherwise. They look exactly the same. Fuck it. And other bullshit.
No disrespect to
like
anybody
that.
we might be working with in the future. However, we feel like we can do so much better and would love to volunteer our efforts to do so.
The thing is, in the Sea Beast, every single solitary character from a main player to a secondary character to a background character is a distinct and unique design, and I love it when animation does this. I love it, I love it, I love it. Found out that Sony and Warner Brothers were involved in the animation side of things for this movie, so definitely is a testament to how good the animation is and how good those people are doing what they do. I don't think they were fully involved with it. I think it was like some stuff was outsourced to them in the production. But they did come up in the credits. Another thing that came up in the credits that I love about this beautiful movie is its story. Good lord, it's like, and there was a point where I was like, is this going a little bit fast? But then as the film, like there's this arc, this How to Train Your Dragon style arc of like how they view the beasts. I mean, if the dialogue from the little girl who I wish, for God's sake, I can remember her name. She's beautiful, she's cute, she's sweet. She's like, they don't say how old she is, but she looks fucking 12, so she's 12. But like, in the, but they had this arc about like realizing, oh, these aren't really monsters, you know? So they, and I feel like it's gone a little fast, didn't it? But then as it goes on, it's like, no, not really. They actually, they actually took care to make sure that these scenes were placed where they needed to be. And so it was like, yeah, no, I guess that's needed to happen. Kind of a little bit, moving quick-ish, but ultimately did properly establish something to be brought up later, which was good. I think they handled the pacing and the structure of the story very well. And I love every stop along the way with this story. I love the captain's design, and the voice actor did such a good job. Love him to bits. He's great. I also love the rugged blonde, who's our main character, whose name is like Jordan or something. Thomas, Jason, James. Yeah, I forget all the characters. And like the little black girl's like name is Maisie or something. But yeah, no, definitely a great movie on that front, but also large scale. Its message is really nice. Like in this day, like it's really nice to see this kind of message in a movie. I'll say that for people who've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. For those who don't, watch it. But the thing as well is like the way the story flowed and even the way it integrated its message felt so good, you know. It felt right. And then looking at the credits, I noticed something, and it's like there's a story consultant, Mattson Tomlin, one guy. A script coordinator, Shelby Lynn Peak, one gal. And then story by Chris Williams, one guy, also the director. Also, one person on each of those jobs means it's a really coherent story. It's like, it's one person's vision.
It's true, there's no issue of too many cooks.
Exactly. It's one person's vision with two people on the editing side of things. It's like, when you see all these Disney movies lately, they have 2-3 writers on the thing, and it's like, you're mucking it up. Like you have 2 or 3, 5 people on the story, and it's like, guys, you're spoiling the pot. It's like when I put like pickles and onions, like a lot of pickles and onions on a lot of my Wendy's cheeseburgers lately. It's like, ooh, it's like, it's a nice idea on the surface because I love onions and pickles, but putting it all together, it's just a mess of flavors fighting for my attention. What I really need is to focus on pickles or onions. Maybe some pickle with my onion, but not too much. You know, you just gotta make sure that you really hone in on what your story is about. And I think the way they did it, they told a lot of the story visually too. And I love that. I love it when a story can just... I love it when a movie can just take its time to let us breathe. No dialogue, no wacky sound effects, and heck, even our adorable animal sidekick is... Well, aside from the idea that they do this thing where, like, he becomes useful in one scene, meanwhile, I just like onions and pickles. My point still stands. You understand the metaphor in a sense. If you did like those things, onions and pickles, then you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, that's not the point. But the movie is great. Seriously, those fucking character designs, and there's this...
Can I talk about the hair technology for a minute?
Oh my gosh, they did black hair so good in this movie.
And it's not just black hair. Hair technology is incredibly difficult, one of the hardest things to render in all of animation. So the fact that they've managed a very, not just realistic, but believable black hair, moving naturally throughout the whole film, no visible mistakes, as far as I'm aware, that is Superman level feats right there.
I'd say they did a really great job. Like,
you actually watched it. Can you tell me if you noticed any mistakes with black hair?
I'd say like the wet hair of that quality looked better in Moana, but aside from that, it looked good from beginning to end. But then again, I don't know how tighter curls react to getting drenched in salt water. So maybe it's just a blind spot that I personally have.
I'll have to give it a look. But overall, the hair technology has come very far, and they utilize it very well.
And of course, whether or not it's realistic for the hair to look like that wet, I think there's like, this isn't a live action movie. It's an animated movie. Is it
believable?
It needs to be exaggerated in a way where it feels right. And I don't know. I think whenever Maisie got her hair wet, like because they spent a lot of time with the beast, and on the water, in the water, underwater. So like, I don't know, whenever her hair was wet, which I think she's the only black character whose hair got wet like majorly in the movie that I remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of looked like it was. It's volume. I guess maybe it just has that much volume. I guess when it's wet, it's still got enough volume off the top of her head because it's a big floofy afro, like initially.
Oh.
A bunch of tendrils of tight curls, but it's like in a big. She's wearing a palm on her head.
Okay.
Two is a pom pom, one's a palm. In case you didn't know that. But yeah, no, the movie's great. I recommend it to anyone who loves animated movies. It's a great family film.
Especially since Netflix murked a whole bunch of their animations, so like support what little we still have, please.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It would be nice to see, and it would be really nice to see them. It would be really nice to see them, you know, with King Features, who's working with Netflix on the Cuphead show, to resurrect Genndy Tartakovsky's Popeye movie. Though, speaking of Genndy Tartakovsky's Popeye movie, it fucking leaked! And I'm about to get this right up here right now. This is insane right here. Okay, so, good friend of mine, can I call him that? Yeah, I can call him that. Good friend of mine, Joey Wagner, sent me this link. Shit, hang on, wait. No, sorry.
The whole movie got leaked?
A rough cut of the movie got leaked. Copyright. And if you take this to a website, like if you Google YouTube downloader, and then you take that link, you may be able to download it, because I don't know if like it's fully taken down or anything.
Okay, I clicked the link and it says video unavailable.
Yes, but like but even when it said that to me, I was able to take it to a link where I could download it. If you can find it anywhere, if you can find this thing anywhere, I recommend it. I have not watched it yet. This will be a major top, but I recommend homework for all you guys. Watch this thing, because I'm probably gonna talk about this next week, because this looks fascinating. This is like lost media found kind of shit. This is gonna be fun to talk about. I will admit. But it's so interesting. It's interesting to see that this is a thing, like that like Sony. Apparently, in an article, Sony had said that the problem wasn't Genndy Tartakovsky. The problem was that Sony does not like Popeye for some reason. Who doesn't like Popeye? It's kind of dishonorable. It's like so many people were happy with the movie, and like you know, this kind of shit happens, and it's like, I don't know, development hell is a thing, but like, I don't know, when a studio officially says that they just plain old don't want to make your Popeye movie, they just plain old don't want to make your Popeye movie. Though on the topic of movies that are finished and are coming out very soon, in fact, sometime this year as well, Guillermo del Toro said that a teaser for the Pinocchio stop-motion movie that he's worked on, is on the horizon. Basically, it'll be coming sometime soon. No specific time, no specific week, no specific month, but it should be around sometime soon, which will be nice. It'll be so nice to see that.
Happy to be home.
I thought they would. I thought a movie about emoji could work. See, I don't know. That's kind of the corporate like. Another one. How many Pinocchio movies are there?
Good fucking question. But not,
yeah, no.
yeah.
There's the Disney one that's like.
There's another Disney one that's gonna come out.
What do you mean another Disney one? Or
a live action one.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. There's 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's getting kind of hectic with Pinocchio. It's like, who will win?
It's like, please, just let it die.
Let
the story rest. It's okay.
I think Guillermo del Toro is gonna come out on top with this one. Everything else looks exhausting. I think we watched the bad one. We didn't watch the dub that had Pauly Shore in it, but we watched it. Yeah, no, not a good film. Not a good film. Pauly Shore would not have made it any more entertaining. In fact, he would have made it painful.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see. I've seen it. I've seen world to see spelled world. Let's see.
World to see.
World to see.
Like fantasy world.
World to see.
Yes, I think, yeah, they did. They chewed us out for it. Yes, Bella, you truly are the queen. And another, but yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to the Guillermo del Toro, Pinocchio. It looks great. Let's see. So another thing we can talk about is that Craig Mccracken is returning to Cartoon Network through Hanna-Barbera Europe to bring back the Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Fucking man! Finally, the man gets his properties almost back to him.
Now,
man's been through the ringer when it comes to, like, he knows he's well aware that he never really had the rights to any of his properties after he made them, but now giving him the opportunity to work with them again is just like, it feels right.
Yes, that is interesting to note, Ryder. The Foster's Home is coming out in as a preschool show, and I thought about it for a second, and I realized, oh, the show is about imaginary characters. That's actually perfect. So honestly, I got no complaints. I don't have a big attachment to Foster's because I didn't grow up with Cartoon Network, but
I had a small hyperfixation on Foster's, and I think making it a preschool show is a good idea.
I think it definitely fit. It probably go to Cartoonito then, probably.
I don't. Well, and Cartoonito itself probably didn't do anything wrong, but it did have the Ellen show on it, so that's weird.
What did Ellen do? Are people canceling Ellen?
She was racist to a whole bunch of her staff members.
That's a pretty good reason to cancel Ellen. Anyway,
You're only just now finding out about this. I'm very sorry.
I am just now finding out about this, but it won't change my opinions on Dory or anything like that.
No, Dory herself, still a good character. And Ellen's voice acting work on her is still great. However, Ellen herself might not be as cool as we thought.
Yeah, well.
But it happens. This keeps happening. But whatever.
And then Squad just brought that up as well. So it's been immortalized in text. Thanks, Cuphead and Mugman, for reading that aloud. Thanks, Scribe. Okay, what does it mean for the CW reboot? I don't know. This is an animation podcast type of thing, so I don't give a fuck.
Even if we knew shit about that, we probably wouldn't discuss it. But just to be clear, we don't know shit about it.
I mean, like, I don't know, I think we all had
still in,
assumptions.
like, pre-production because it was dying to death from the script being leaked on every social media, and just, it needed to be completely remade. Everybody, like,
Or alternatively,
it was just not going well.
Or alternatively, if you actually have confidence in your script and it gets leaked online and people know the story going in ahead of time, you can just release it with the original script that was leaked, because you have confidence that your script will work. You know?
But unfortunately,
the script
wasn't. But the script wasn't working. That was why it was getting such a big attention on social media, because the script was so infamously bad, like High Guardian Spice bad. And High Guardian Spice is something I'd like to discuss tonight, but we'll get to that later if we get to it.
I think we could probably bring that up as a topic for next week, if it's all the same to you. I'd like to, because I have one more thing here, I think, that can get brought up.
Okay, we got at least one more thing to do before we can even try to dip into that, basically.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on over to, oh yes,
Maggie?
Do you see League of Super Pets has debuted at 82% on Rotten Tomatoes? So apparently, well, a lot has not been said about the Super Pets movie, like, people
it has been trying to compete with Spider-Verse, which is not necessarily the wisest move.
It's not actually doing that, because Spider-Verse is coming out next year.
But it was originally trying to do that, which I would argue is a unwise move.
Yeah, probably. Which is probably lucky for them that Spider-Verse got moved out. Which will definitely be better for Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse getting a delay can mean good things.
It means the staff's being treated well, which is always a good sign. Green flag here, guys.
Yes, green flag indeed. But yeah, no, I actually been hearing about that. That some people have been like actively liking the movie, and like what it does is like it seems like a stupid comedy on the surface, but it actually fucking like slaps, and it actually has emotion and heart. So it's like, you intrigue me. Not enough to go see it in theaters, but it intrigues me. So I'll check it out as soon as it's available on digital media, I guess. And see if the hype is really all up to snuff. But it's like, I don't know. I do want to see Warner Animation Group succeed. I do want to see them succeed because I do want to see more movies from them. Not just Lego movies, but I want to see more stuff like Storks. You know, I do want to see more stuff like that because I want to see Warner's doing more animated films in the future.
On some level, we want to see animation studios succeed because animation as a medium is sort of under attack in a way.
It's not under attack. It's doing pretty well.
We might be in an animation renaissance, actually.
Yeah. Just keep throwing out that new deal for animation. Support your local unions. Keep throwing out that hashtag on Twitter. Don't let it die. Don't let the flame die out! Shrek getting a reboot. Yeah, they said something about like Shrek coming back through a joint between DreamWorks and Universal, thus wise being a reboot done through Illumination. So, no confidence there. We still haven't seen a trailer for the Mario movie yet, so honestly, I don't... The only things I've been like hearing is that the Minions Rise of Gru is doing financially well.
And as much as we're not really sure how to feel about Illumination, I'm pretty happy on that end. Just to hear that, like, Illumination is making stuff that supposedly doesn't suck. Because it's been entirely corporate bullshittery for a while,
like, if I'm frank about my opinions on Illumination, it's that, like, they peaked. They fucking peaked. Like, they had, like, this...
They peaked at the beginning, too, like, which is sad.
The thing is, like... And they didn't even peak that well. Like, Despicable Me is a good movie, but it's not some god-tier Pixar masterpiece everybody, like, seemed to think it was back when it came out in 2010. So it's like... So they've been able to coast on a massively unwarranted success with a bunch of mediocrity from the Lorax to Sing. So it's like, I don't know.
And as much as I like Sing, I will admit, it's corporate shill. It's stupid as fuck. I sorry.
Mean, the one that I have not seen Sing, but I have seen The Secret Life of Pets. I imagine they're similar in tone at the very least.
More like in quality, because tone, the Sting is supposed to feel a little different. It's a award show style sort of thing where everybody gets to perform and stuff.
But yeah, no, my thoughts on Illumination is that all I really want from them is to work on a movie for maybe 2 or 3 years and actually put some quality behind it instead of just pumping them out as frequently as they are. I mean, like, I'd only... Here's a thing. Here's a thing. Right here, right? Here's the dealio. In the grand totality of, like, respecting their, respecting their intellectual property and doing things of a quality standard, Nintendo might be holding Illumination and Universal to a very specific standard, which is why we've only seen a cast reveal and we haven't seen concept art or anything from this movie outside of, like, a cast reveal. You know? It's like,
which, Nintendo... By the way, the cast reveal is completely batshit insane.
Like,
Nintendo... I love most of their choices, but I question Chris Pratt as Mario.
Nintendo might be holding under the knife, like, you better not fuck this up. This is Mario, damn it. I'm offline. No, I can't be offline. No, I'm not supposed to be on Wi-Fi.
I hate seeing the material being leaked.
Wait. Well, Wait. Okay, did
That's
I?
true.
Okay, I reconnected. Shit.
Hi, I'm
Hang
back.
on. Wait. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Shit. You guys are still there, right?
Can you hear us?
Shit. No! Come on!
But Bella says we're back.
Bella says we're back. Yeah, great. I think I need to reload the page. Shit.
Anyway, I don't think Chris Pratt is getting hate. I
We
do
haven't
think we're all getting a little exasperated with him being in everything. Like, why Garfield? Why Garfield? It doesn't make sense.
My
He
only
better
hope...
have some serious acting. He better have some serious acting chops to live up to all the weird hype he's getting.
Okay, I'm glad we're, back at least. We didn't lose anything.
Yep. Still got the drawings. I'll take requests if y'all want.
Yeah, of course the stream health is poor because we lost internet for 2 seconds there. Good fucking lord. Anyway, but we're good. All right. I don't know. Like, the thing is, we haven't heard Chris Pratt as Mario. Like, one thing I can say is that fucking Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is just gonna sound like Seth Rogen because that's the same. Because it's the same voice he uses for every cartoon character he's ever played.
That's true, and it's a little frustrating because like,
but at least
I'm
it's
feeling like he's a little overhyped at
but
this
at
point.
least it's reliable, so we know what Donkey Kong will sound like, and it's not unfitting. Like,
That's true.
he sounds like a monkey, so. But
Some of these dudes is a little undeserved. That's my thought.
one of these things as well is like fucking Charlie Day and Chris Pratt. Like Charlie Day, I always like to go to that Pepe Sylvia thing from like It's Always Sunny, I think. Like, I think it's Always Sunny. Who's gonna play the voice? You don't know? Jack Black is gonna play Bowser. Perfect
And it's
casting,
gonna
by
be
the way.
awesome. It's the only cast announcement that I was truly excited for.
I read the voice actor for Peach that they got, and I'm like, who?
Yeah, we don't know shit about this lady. Good for her though on getting cast in a Nintendo movie.
Oh, wait.
Honestly, because if this is her breakout,
Wait, Charlie Day was actually Benny, the 19-something space guy.
it was.
From the
Check
Lego
that.
movie?
Check that. Fact check that.
Sure, okay, I'll fact check it. Charlie Day.
Because if it's true, we might really have something here.
Oh yeah. No, but what I really want from both of them is to actually do some form. It's true. But what I really want from both of them is for them to actually do Italian accents in some respect.
That's kind of important.
Because
for me.
it's a distinctive part of the character. Because it's a distinctive part of the character that you got to keep an Italian accent in some form or other. It's like,
if you can't do
hey, yo,
that,
paisano!
then-
Can't you see I'm a walking here? Pasta fazool!
If you can't do that, there is no point in casting you as a Mario. Also,
really
the
not.
voice actor who's done Mario in every game is still alive, so the fact that they didn't
He's
cast him...
playing, he's being brought on as additional voice work for the movie, of all things. Wrap your head around that. The voice of Mario gets to be in the movie, but he doesn't actually get to be Mario in the movie.
A little frustrating,
Fuck
but I
that world.
suppose if the movie has other traits that can make up for it, maybe I can forgive that. I don't know.
Here. I'll tell you how Hollywood casting should be. You gotta cast actual voice actors, right? But if they use a Brooklyn
Instead
accent...
of just celebrity cameos.
Bob Hoskins did that in the original Mario Brothers movie. So yeah, go ahead and do a Brooklyn accent for Mario. Just do something. Be a voice actor.
Also, Bob Hoskins, is he still alive?
No, Bob Hoskins is long dead, sadly.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
He probably would have been fun to have in this movie if he was
That would have
still
been a
around.
great cameo. Aw. But you know, there's a lot of
A Brooklyn accent was one of the original concepts for Mario's voice. Yes, that's acceptable.
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Remember, kids, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Andy.
All right, so
Andy
I've been drawing Marinette for a while.
Wait. Andy Samberg. You mean like the ginger kid from Hotel Transylvania as Mario?
Okay.
I still need him to do an Italian accent. There's no budging on this.
Yeah, we're not negotiating on that one.
Like, it would be great. He's got this energy where even if he's not smiling, it always sounds like he's in a good mood. So, kind of a good voice for Mario in that regard, but otherwise, just gotta do an Italian accent. You gotta do something with the voice, because he's a cartoon.
I'll be right back.
He's a fucking cartoon. The guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Oh yeah, Andy Samberg was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, wasn't he? Yeah. People bring that show up to me, I know nothing. But yeah. But now I want to take it to the chat. Animation specific topics, please. What has been the awesome animated thing during your week that you have or have not seen yet? Looking forward to, and all of the like. I'm glad we can be in the same boat, squad. Now remember, squad, you hold the rudder and I'll row. Stroke, 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 stroke. Anyway, got started watching the Hunter x Hunter dub series. Hunter x Hunter. This is a thing I don't know. Ah, Frog Boy. I got started watching the Cuphead show, the Rise of the TMNT movie. Rise of the TMNT movie! The show is great. I haven't watched a lot of it, but what I have seen of it is fun, hilarious, cartoony action. So obviously I haven't gotten to the heavier story elements. But the movie trailer looks awesome. Everything, it's good animation. Honestly, I'll endorse good animation. Like,
Hello, pizza paisanos.
Making the camouflage rabbit miraculous to complete the cosplay. Nice.
All right.
So, squad, actually, I want to talk about that because I absolutely love this show to death and will not stop talking about it. So, please, squad, tell me, do you like the Cuphead show? And if so, what do you like about it? Because, honestly, this show is great. Can't wait for the second batch of episodes to come out. Don't believe the lies that Netflix tells you about it being a second season. It's not.
Guys, I'm waiting on drawing suggestions.
Promise Neverland and Catfish. More animus, I'm presuming. I know Promise Neverland is an animu, but I'm guessing Catfish is also an animu. Anime?
This sounds more like the Netflix show where you've got to check on people who are catfishing other people.
Alright. I've seen the first 6 episodes and I love it. Love the humor and the soundtrack. Honestly, yes. Because this is what I love about the Cuphead show, is that it just embodies the spirit. It just embodies the spirit of a classic cartoon. It's obviously not identical to a classic cartoon. A lot of modern animation in the actual show itself, but classically inspired designs and backgrounds and music and voice acting and mannerisms and the kind of jokes they would tell as well. I mean, not all the kind of jokes they would tell, but you know what I mean. As a big game show fan, my favorite episode was the one with King Dice. Also fitting to cast Wayne Brady here since he's the current host of Let's Make a Deal. I should talk about that, Scribe, but first I want to address what Squad just said. Yes, but even funnier, another thing that people pointed to as Wayne Brady playing King Dice, as King Dice is influenced by Cab Calloway, everybody ended up pulling up a clip from from Whose Line Is It Anyway, back when they did it with Drew Carey, when he did a Cab Calloway impression on the show as one of the bits. So look up Wayne Brady Whose Line Cab Calloway on YouTube. It's great. Strange World from Disney Animation. Okay, so Strange World. Love the concept. Love the old-style radio announcer for this old-style B-movie type sci-fi adventure. We're finally going into space for realsies this time. And I love that. I love when they did that newsreel shit in Up. I love that they're doing that newsreel shit here. It's amazing. Love the aesthetic. Honestly, just ancient. Just not ancient, but aged and vintage. Vintage is the word. Vintage shit. Just love it. Jake Gyllenhaal is in that film. I hear he's a good actor. But the thing is, I'm looking at the Strange World trailer, and I don't know, none of the character designs are, like, identical to any of the designs they had in, say, Pixar's Lightyear. But
nothing feels particularly unique.
It's gentrification on an animation level. It's like, let's commodify our character design aesthetic into this perfectly packaged aesthetic that we can just repeat ad nauseum. No! Aside the fact that Pixar has done humans as differently designed as Ratatouille, Incredibles, and Up, you can't tell me that two different studios doing the same kinds of humans designs at the same time isn't any way acceptable. I mean, people ragged on this shit when direct-to-video, bootlegger companies decided to make mockbusters of Disney movies, or mock Disney movies where they took a story that Disney didn't adapt, but used a Disney art style. It's like, people rag on them for that shit because it's boring and homogenous. It's just, boo. Strange World will beat with Lightyear? I have no idea what you said, but if you mean that, like, oh, you probably meant to say that Strange World will be better than Lightyear, then yeah, probably, I agree, because at least we're dealing with an original story and original characters, so we're less likely to get hung up on the mythology of where the toy came from, so, you know.
Also, like, Strange World has really good potential for cool marketing, and if they don't take advantage of that, Disney is officially run by idiots.
Yeah, you know, I need to see my local mall, my local movie theater, hand me, like, a brochure for, like, a big travel company that'll take me to space in the style of old, like, brochures like you'd see from Disneyland or something. That would be amazing. I don't know, did they have brochures for things like that? I don't know, but they should. They totally should. That'd be fun.
I really like the Cuphead show. I want to do a sort of persuasive argument for a moment on the topic of High Guardian Spice, but that would require people in the audience knowing what High Guardian Spice is. So I want to show of hands for everybody who knows what I'm talking about.
All right, everybody. Who knows of High Guardian Spice? I doubt they'll do that. I mean, I'm not asking them necessarily to do it. I'm just saying that it'd be a neat idea.
These are opportunities that it would be ridiculous to waste.
Vaguely heard about it.
Some...
Bella knows. Fizzy knows. Ryder wishes he didn't.
Fair. Fair.
Team Miraculous has never heard of it. Oh, sweet summer child. Protect yourself. Leave the stream right now. Never hear of this show. Just go. Go. Go.
I'll give you a gentle description. I'll give you a brief description. It's the industry standard of a show that... It's basically the industry standard for a failed show. Like, it did so poorly on every standpoint. The writers aren't likable. The staff isn't likable enough to justify wanting to see more from them. You know how, like, most staffs will just, like, have a group of people who are so interesting. Hey, at least, maybe the show failed, but you want to see more from them. This group of folks did not accomplish that, and in fact went so hard on trying to defend their show that it went over really badly. High Guardian Spice premise-wise, is a show about cute girls going to a school that happens to teach magic and other warrior stuff to people who want to become warriors, and it's not well defined other than that.
That description of it, like, being about cute girls has a really lolicon vibe, and I'm only saying lolicon because YouTube will demonetize me for saying the other word. The P word!
Yeah, it's not great.
But just for future reference, and I probably will address this if I ever say it again, when I say lolicon, I mean the P word, because that's exactly what it means. So I don't want to hear it.
It doesn't seem like the staff themselves
So if anyone in the chat comes up to try to defend that lolicon is not the P word, you can kindly fuck off and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're getting blocked, I'm sorry. At least by me. Comic can decide whether or not he wants to personally block you, but I will be blocking you if you try to defend that shit.
But yeah, no, the thing with High Guardian Spice is really interesting to me. Is like, everything feels like it had potential. It obviously had potential.
High Guardian Spice,
not a bad idea.
I don't know how it got greenlit, because it seemed like all that the staff had to back it up were some character designs.
You might want to repeat.
And that is not enough to make a show out of, unless these character designs are really compelling. What?
You might want to repeat your request, Miraculous, because it's kind of high up in the chat now.
Yeah.
Andy Samberg doing an Italian... You found Andy Samberg doing an Italian accent? Shit. Fuck, I gotta go find this shit. Hang on.
That's a little too complicated for a simple art request, Team Miraculous. Sorry. I might do something like that on my own time, but, if you really want that really badly, my commissions are open and I would be happy to do something like that for pay. But Crunchyroll somehow greenlit High Guardian Spice. I don't know how much they had to shell out to make them do that, but God. I just watched the show and think, well, the only thing they had was character designs to work off of, and they aren't even particularly compelling character designs, so I don't know how we wound up with a whole show based around them. However, the show has some cool concepts we could work with. And the creator tried to defend the show, which fails on almost every level, but especially a writing one. By saying, if anything was a problem, it was all a budgetary issue. Writing was bad, budget. Backgrounds, budget. Animation, budget. And we'd sit here as potential fans and think, well, if we were stuck with budget constraints, we would at least do better with the writing. And the creator of High Guardian Spice just tell us we need to have more empathy for the people who worked on the show. I have, I think, plenty of empathy for them, but unfortunately, if you have no concept to work with in your show, you're not going to be able to save it with a massive budget. You'll just have a very pretty mess.
Well, Team Miraculous, I think what you might have been referring to, if this is any indication, is this SNL skit, which I'm sending a link to in the chat now. That might be the thing in question that you were bringing to my attention of him doing an Italian accent. I'll have to watch it later, but...
But my persuasive moment I want to express with High Guardian Spice is, with a proper budget, could it have worked? I actually think, yes, it could have. But not a monetary budget. A time budget.
Oh, yeah,
I think High Guardian Spice could have worked 100% better had it been given more time in the oven before it was greenlit. Because as the show is greenlit now, it does not work on any level, but especially not a writing one.
Okay.
The characters are either forgettable or Mary Sue's, and not in a pleasant, fun-to-watch Mary Sue way like Twilight Sparkle. Like, Twilight Sparkle is kind of a Mary Sue character. Not just because she's female and powerful, but because everything works out for her and the universe kind of revolves around her in a Mary Sue way. Mary Sue characters can be fun to watch, but High Guardian Spice did not accomplish that.
I just don't like using that word at all. Like, unless I legitimately mean it. So, I disagree.
No. I mean it about Sage specifically.
No, I mean, I disagree about it in regards to
Twilight Sparkle. Okay, that's fair.
The world does not center around her, like, no. If you want an understanding of what's centered around her, Season 1 centered around her, but there were plenty of episodes that she, quote-unquote, didn't appear in, you know what I mean? Like the Kingdom Crusaders' first outing. She basically wasn't in that entire episode until the end, where she had to get the lesson of the day, because that was the only requirement for Twilight being in an episode.
Now, Mary Sue characters, someone mentioned, specifically, Overly Sarcastic Production mentioned that Goku is technically a Mary Sue-style character that is fun to watch. But unfortunately, High Guardian Spice populated by a lot of Mary Sue characters, specifically Sage, though, and she is not fun to watch.
I can neither confirm nor deny in the regards to Son Goku, but as far as Rosemary is concerned,
Rosemary is not a Mary Sue. She is, however, a dumbass.
She's not
which
fun.
which is fun to watch in theory. But again, they didn't do it in any entertaining way.
Okay. Here's another thing that I've seen, right? All right. Here's the thing. Like, in terms of, like, another excuse that they made for the writing and all the other things going wrong that I heard was that it was their first time. You know what else was a team's first time? Cuphead. The video game.
Like the game itself.
The game itself. First time creators. They didn't know what they were doing, but they learned.
I guess Cuphead is a high bar to judge someone from.
No, because here's the thing. Because if you want to take this from a certain angle, right? This independent team of artists and writers for High Guardian Spice was backed by Crunchyroll. And at a certain point in development, this small team of artists and coders behind Cuphead was backed by Microsoft to initially make the game an Xbox exclusive as far as consoles were concerned. So, there is a perfectly reasonable comparison between these two. But one succeeds where the other fails because one has a genuine care for the art that they're crafting. They love old cartoons and they love video games, but I'd have an argument that the people creating High Guardian Spice, maybe they don't hate cartoons, but they do not, they have some apathy toward cartoons to think, it's just so easy to make a cartoon. Even if it's our first time and things go wrong, it's not our fault because it's our first time. That's some arrogant ass bullshit to say, isn't it? It's like, obviously the only reason that we failed or that we made any mistakes was because it's our first time and budget. Like, no, there are plenty of first time creations that are astounding. And even like, you know, like, I don't know, it's like, this is wrong. This is just incorrect. Like, this mentality that somehow, like, the first thing you ever make will always be, like, the worst. It's like, obviously it's not going to be the greatest, but, like, motherfucker. I mean, another thing these people probably, like, would have...
Now, a note about High Guardian Spice and its creators, they did create another show.
Oh, yeah?
And it is not very much better, unfortunately.
Name the show.
Onyx Equinox.
Never fucking heard of it.
It's about Aztec. It's another Crunchyroll original. It's about ancient Mexico, specifically Aztec culture, talking about the blood sacrifices, the culture at the time, with I wouldn't say outright racism, but not a lot of charity to it.
So what was the show called?
Onyx Equinox. It's very shallowly written. It makes more sense as an adult show than High Guardian Spice does, because High Guardian Spice gives you kindergarten explanations for what someone being transgender is, whereas, like, okay, Onyx Equinox assumes you already know what suicide is.
Fuck.
It's a fair bit noticeably darker than High Guardian Spice and makes more sense as an adult show. However, it does not seem to be written with much more care. It does a decent amount of research on Aztec culture, but again, it doesn't incorporate it into the story in any meaningful way. Just kind of as a backdrop to give their show brownie points.
I got a question. How many episodes of the show have you seen?
I haven't seen it, but I've actually watched a long review on the subject.
Okay, well, since we're regurgitating someone else's opinions, you think you could hit me up with a link?
Okay, let me search it up right now.
Because I think it's only fair if we regurgitate.
Let me cite my sources real quick.
Like I can regurgitate someone else's opinions on something like Star Versus because I agree with them, and I've watched the series as well. Because like
that's fair. I haven't watched Onyx Equinox, but I have seen clips, and it doesn't look great.
Yeah, because like from what I've seen full episodes of High Guardian Spice, and it's like, damn this show, because the little dwarf character is such a fun character. I don't know why I specifically enjoy her. Maybe because she's short. She's short. And like that's just funny to me.
She's marginally more likable than everyone else, but honestly, not
marginally. Marginally, fucking Lord, she's the example that other people in the show would hold themselves to, because she is just like, that nice a character.
Okay, their Onyx Equinox reviews are done by Blacklight Jack. I'll link the channel.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and stick it in there.
Anyway, since I'm regurgitating his opinions, I linked you the channel. That's Blacklight Jack.
And then that video in question will be called...
The video in question is a series, so it's Onyx Equinox. That's the series we're studying.
Onyx Equinox
and
parts 1, 2, and it looks like that's it.
3?
Wait,
just
3?
There's 3 and some in-between videos.
Let's see if they got a playlist for it, and they can link the playlist. No, they got a full playlist on High Guardian Spice. Oof.
Yeah, I personally think High Guardian Spice has a lot of potential and could have worked, but unfortunately the team working on it does not seem to have any significant amount of care for any concepts, just character designs. And character designs are all well and good, but they don't make a whole show.
Yeah, let's face facts.
And like, I'm speaking as someone who has a deep passion for character design. Character design is important, but the story is kind of what makes the design what it is. So you need a story to back up your designs, actually, your designs need to back up your story, not your story coming in clutch for your designs.
Yeah.
You need something to design for.
Let's say that when you're designing in a certain realm, like, if you design rather mundane designs, you're probably making a slice of life series. But if you're making more over-the-top designs, you're probably making a comedy series, like an Ani-MANIC or something. But if you're making
consider your over-the-top designs could also be perfectly suitable in an adventure-type series where there's magical girls.
Like you could have some really intense and strange designs, which will lead to a fantasy or sci-fi series. And you know what I'm getting at, right? Like these, like it is like. Interest. We didn't even know what the point of having Guardians was. Having Guardians, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Did they ever explain that? Hang on. I only watched like a few episodes. Did they explain why Guardians at all?
They never do. But my explanation and my idea for a reboot of the show, because I have that in my brain as well as one for Miraculous, is basically that the school trains magical girls. That would make more sense than whatever they've got there.
You need to enunciate a little better because it sounded like you said the school trans magical girls. Not the
school trains magical girls.
Yeah. It sounded like you said trans instead of trains, so try that.
And honestly, I want to keep the character of Caraway in there if I ever did reboot High Guardian Spice somehow. But I would not make him
a decent lad, honestly.
Honestly, Caraway himself isn't a bad idea, but however, he's executed very poorly. Showing as just someone who, like, suggests, hey, you're not stereotypically masculine? What if you're trans? And it's like, damn, that's stupid. Shut up.
And then there's OC artists who design shit for themselves because they have that power. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's fun, and that
By the
doesn't
way-
hurt anything, and you can build a story off of that. However, you still need to, eventually, the story will trump your character designs, so you will have to modify your character designs to fit in your story, which is what
I saw one of
having to
those.
do.
Oh, Min. Find the one with the scene of Caraway explaining his transness with the perfect fit line, the Ani-MANIC rewrite. Please, put that in the. Put that
Okay,
link in the chat.
fine. I don't like that one as much. It's a good explanation, but it's still a preschooler style thing. That doesn't belong in what's supposed to be an adult show.
I don't know, but like it's like if they wanted to have that scene, that would be the best version of that scene, and I like it. So put it in the chat now. I am the owner of the stream. I do what I want.
Okay, I'm getting it.
All right, and because I'm someone who notoriously kind of, I don't actively shit on anime, but like I don't get into it. I don't get into it for a lot of reasons, Lolicon being one of those reasons. But
Anime itself,
I just avoid anime
it's
a
not
lot.
inherently
But
lolicon.
if I were to give a recommendation for an anime series that I like, Saint Tail, go find that one. That's a good show.
I would love to ramble on about my favorite anime, but I feel like unless Comic knew something about it, it wouldn't be really relevant to speak of.
Land of the Lustrous, I assume, right?
Yep.
I have a
And of
feeling.
course, I'd be getting into the manga too, because
Get your
that's
own
an
damn
important part of...
podcast.
Hey, this is a podcast?
I mean, essentially.
Oh, I never know what's going on.
I mean, we're just talking, so what else would you call that?
Well, a podcast implies you record it and put it up later.
No, you can do a little podcast live. No crimes.
Okay. If you say so.
If I say so, I do say so. I do say so. Better be nice or I'll take over. Hey, not allowed. Stop that.
Anyway, yeah, High Guardian Spice had a lot of good concepts and could have worked with a different team. There was also this writer who was notorious for posting things with the hashtag kill all men, which is not a good stance to have as a feminist. It means you're kind of a shit feminist, honestly.
Yeah, that's
A feminist fights for gender equality, whereas that person seems to be just fighting.
I mean, there's the term in mockery that is referred to as feminazi. I think that would probably apply here.
I would rather not use that term, but if I were to describe one person with it, this might be the person. God. Fuck. Yeah, she's one of the main writers for the show, and I'm assuming the reason the dialogue is such a goddamn mess.
No, I wouldn't call that a feminist. Because I'm a feminist and I'm a man. I have a vested interest in keeping men alive.
Yeah.
Because I'm men. I'm just five men
Yeah,
in a
like,
trench coat. You probably didn't know that. I'm
and
five
if you
men in a
support-
trench coat.
If you're going to tell me kill all men, you're not going to care about the creator of the series you're working with, Ray Rodriguez, who happens to be a man, albeit a trans one?
Yeah, don't backpedal and say that when you say kill all men that you don't mean trans men. Because that's bullshit. Because when you say kill all men, you gotta commit to the bit, sister.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is with
It's
the random...
nasty.
What is with the random gore? It's just, what the hell, man?
It's an attempt to make the show feel more adult, even though it's not only just produced on a Cartoon Network pipeline, but it seems with Cartoon Network coding.
If I'm being honest, right, like, if, like, what you want to have, right, in any cartoon, like, did they, okay, here's a question. go over the end credits. In fact, I'm gonna do that right the fuck now. I'm gonna Google the credits for High Guardian Spice.
And what are you looking for?
I'm looking for person in charge of continuity.
There should be at least one goddamn person, but clearly if they were there, they weren't paid!
Unpaid! Okay, there's the cast. Well, they have a voice director at least. Not doing that good a job.
Yeah, also not very few of the staff has properly functioning microphones, it sounds like.
Alright, developed.
Rosie D was in it, as one of the terrible characters we were supposed to hate, but honestly, it's just kind of fun to watch because, like, hey, Rosie D's here!
Maybe it's because he's a man, and of course one of the creators hates him because he's a man. So he has to play an evil character.
I mean, he is supposed to be a hateable character.
Line producer.
For sure.
Production manager, design coordinator, storyboard coordinator, design, storyboard, post-production assistants, writing assistant, storyboard artists, revisionists.
Apparently storyboards are being drawn up before the first script was finished, so that's something.
Okay, visual development.
That's poor management, I think.
What, doing storyboards before writing?
No, just like having your storyboards before you write your first script. Like, if you're planning to do a scripted show,
yeah,
stick with
like, doing your storyboards first is what you do for things like Phineas and Ferb or Adventure Time, because these are comedy series. What you do for, like, your continuity-based adventure series is that you write the script first, and then you give it to board artists. Background color stylists.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a scripted series, just write the damn script first, or do a storyboard-driven show, and then give us some animation spectacle to explain why it's a storyboard-driven show, because, like, storyboard-driven shows should be an animation spectacle, if Ed, Edd n Eddy was any example.
I don't know if this is a joke or not, but they have a credit for track reading credited to someone or something called Slightly Off Track.
Well, gods.
Here, I'm gonna pull it up on screen.
Yep.
This'll be fun. Let's
Mugman.
see. Slightly Off Track. I wish I was joking, honestly. Director, post-management, animation, animatic editor. Oh, so you had some form of an editor. And assistant editors, too. Good job there. Music. Okay, I think we've gotten as far away from the possibility of seeing someone for... Wait, what the fuck? Voice casting, casting director, voiceover, production coordinator. Salami Studios.
Coordinator on this shit, because somebody should have gotten at least one damn guy a good microphone. It just feels like creators were doing this as a producer style cast.
Sound services. Alright, so I've been all over these credits so far, and not one of these credits has said continuity at all.
It is all about these two guys trying to make a musical so bad it makes a series somehow.
Remember Crown Prince made a video about this?
What?
Yeah. Crown Prince did make a video on High Guardian Spice.
Anyway, what I was trying to say, you know how...
Yes. Yes? Min? Ah, crap, I think we lost him. Slightly Off Track actually has quite a rich history of work on IMDb. What a cruel joke that that name had to be associated with something that was, in fact, slightly off track. Nevertheless, ignoring what Min was trying to say there, what I was going to say was... They put a lot of stock images in the show. Yeah, no, like, none of the credits had continuity anywhere. No script continuity, no story continuity, not even animation continuity. Not a surprise. If you've seen the animation, you know why that's not a surprise. No one in charge of continuity anywhere. Bad form. Bad form.
Did you hear me?
You cut out.
Can you hear me?
You cut out completely.
Damn. Anyway, I'm back, and I can't remember what I was talking about. So that bites.
Well, I just discussed how no credit for continuity at all, anywhere, in any department. So, bad form. And Squad tells us that slightly off track.
Peter.
That slightly off track actually has quite a lot of work on IMDb. Robots have taken over the Navy. Not the Navy! Oh, actually, that's something...
There's a Cuphead.
There is a Cuphead. By the way, something I actually wanted to bring up just for shits and giggles because I found it in the cartoon topic on Twitter is that today they dropped DLC for Minecraft with SpongeBob. SpongeBob Minecraft DLC, so... And it looks really fucking cute, so I thought I'd bring that up. Because we all love SpongeBob here. Well, at least most of us like SpongeBob here. 90% of us here like SpongeBob.
Have you even watched the
Discord? I'm howling at the moon. I'm gonna wait for Min to come back, and then we'll do like we'll close.
I'm howling at the moon.
Ah, there you are. SpongeBob had an episode with Dennis?
I'm back.
Oh, nice.
I
saw that you were one of the animators on the SpongeBob Rehydrated. Yes! Thank you for noticing. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun to work on. I imagine the next animated, like reanimated project that I get involved in, I'll be very careful about my decisions there. For a number of different reasons.
Yeah, I won't be getting I won't be getting involved in another one until I finish with Disney Fanatics Animatics that I'm currently the one holding up right now, by the way.
Speaking of which, any word on Zim's Reanimated getting out at all?
I'll check the server. Give me a sec.
Alright. While he checks that, I think now's as good a time as any to close out for the evening. And I think there was a pretty substantial amount of talking points there, honestly. Remember to bring some animation talking points to the table yourselves, guys, because I love animation, and I know y'all do too. So we're gonna keep talking about it. And hopefully, in the future, maybe we'll talk about some of my projects, because I got some of those in the works. So...
Unfortunately, no word on the Vader Zim Reanimated.
All right.
Fuck.
Well, I would like to take this time to thank my Patreon subscribers, but I don't have any. If you follow the link in the description, you can head over to my Patreon page, where soon I'll be making an update to show you that the future is bright. But until then, thank y'all so much for joining me. Friday, we're going to play more I Am Bread. And until next week, when we talk on Ani-MANIC with Comic Auzi, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do.
Be kind in all.
Bye-bye. You can't do it over Discord. Good night, everybody.
Good night.